Best way I would describe this art is beyond its time of this generation or on this plane of this physical earth, because it speaks on a level beyond this fifth dimension of this reality that we perceive in. All this art that is here today, that is present, is truly beyond my words. I lack the intellectual ability to properly describe all what I see.
This is a very intelligent artist. As a father, I'm truly grateful for her creator to bring this child into my life. I know she's here for a certain divine purpose. I remember a time when her art teacher gave her a D because she drew something the teacher just did not understand as being physically possible. This was the beginning of a surrealism style. And I think this was the moment I knew that Haseena was something special.
Pardon me, ma'am, I'm sorry I'm giving you all I can. It seems my heart's gone missing, but in this time you'll have the least to I've been left. She let me down, she left me outside. Nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. And if I stay, I know I sit in my own shame. When that 3 steps past, and here you are, standing in my way, making it hard to analyze my state. Pardon me, ma'am, I am sorry I've given you all I can. It seems my heart's gone missing, but this time you'll have the little life in left. The wound is fresh, well it's been dried, waiting to be salted or sanitized, and you keep soaking under my skin. And I am unsure if I am slowly becoming infected, or if I'm rejecting you. And all you came with. Pardon me, ma'am, I'm sorry I'm giving you all I can. It seems my heart's gone missing, but this time you'll have the little life in left. Promise me you won't rush. You know I just got out. Promise me you won't stop. You know my weakness now.
This is nice. And you did this, all of this.
I feel like I just been losing it. When I see this, I just feel like I just been losing it. And my wife, my family. This is deep. This is art. This is definitely art.
Thank you very much.
That's what's up, yo.
It's fantastic. It's far out.
What I like is that it's real. Okay, it's awesome work.
Is that it's nothing like anything I've ever seen. So it's, but you're a very gifted artist. This is lovely.
I like twisted-minded.
And Haseena's twisted-minded?
I like her twisted-minded.
You like her twisted-minded?
Yes, really awesome. It's artsy. It's beautiful.
That's awesome. Very talented. Very talented.
It's really cool. I didn't even notice all that at first. It's really cool. Huh. What's her name? Haseena?
Haseena.
I like it.
are amazing.
I don't like it.
See, you are amazing. It's not that bad.
How come you don't like it?
This is really amazing.
It's too poppy.
It is really
It's too poppy. I feel like I was
Like, you guys need an email list, because, like, I want to know when she does new stuff, because, like, you got yourself another collector.
Sainthood was good.
Thank you.
Well, it's crazy because you look at one and you think about something, then you look at another one, you're like, wow. Then you look to the other one, you're like, oh. Then you go to the other one, you're like, dang. So it's like, you'd have to have it more than one, because you could just stare like this wall right here, you could just stare at it. And everything just says something.
The thing is, it's so unique yet morbid. And it almost seems like something you would see in a dream.
I don't remember any of my dreams.
Well, I'm a psychotherapist. For some people, it could traumatize. That's the thing. Produce nightmares too.
You think?
Maybe for some people.
He says that one scares him.
Yeah, they look good.
That one scares me the most over there.
Yeah?
Which is the scariest?
Which is the scariest?
If I had to say, I would have to say lion face. Well, it looks like she's praying.
She's praying, exactly. And there's a cross in the eye, yeah? And that symbolizes what? Christianity, right? And there's another one here. Do you see that? That symbolizes Islam.
Yeah, the moon and the stars.
The moon and the stars. Very good. So there's a teardrop there. You see the tear coming out?
Actually, it looks like a blood drop. When you see all that, you think that's not tear, that's a blood drop.
It's a blood drop. Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Because when you see all this,
Uh-huh.
and that, you think that's a blood drop.
Ah, okay, okay.
It doesn't look like a tear when you see all that. It looks like a blood drop when you see all that.
Like a blood drop. That's very interesting. I'd never seen that before. Very good.
They're kind of nightmarish almost.
Okay. In a good way, in a bad way?
I think in a good way, yeah. Both. Take pain in your life and you make something beautiful out of it. You know? Just sort of surreal, very surreal.
Yeah.
That one?
And who did these?
That's my daughter right there.
Right there? She did these?
Here's the creative genius.
Wow.
She started doing this about 5 years ago, and she was throwing them in the garbage. I picked them up, and I said, no, you are a born genius. This is going to be a business for you. This is your life's calling. And here we are today. She's got a lot of fans.
A lot going on in there.
Yeah.
Very good. Very nice. Dali-esque almost.
Like Dali-esque?
A little bit. I mean,
yeah.
I think that one in the corner over there just is like, the body is like a hand, but it's like two legs, and then the head is sort of, I don't know, just tossed on there haphazardly.
Talking about media assault. Yeah, this is the piece right here.
I live a public lifestyle, and I always find it interesting how social media, how television has warped communication between human beings so much, so intensely, that sometimes when, even myself, when I'm out and I'm actually amongst other humans, sometimes it's weird. to communicate with them. So I think that what's important for me is that I read as much as possible, is that I spend more time in meditation, more time actually speaking to people, talking to people and not just talking at people.
Right.
So I just found that to be very interesting. That's what caught my eye when I came over, and then when Haseena actually explained to me what it meant, I thought that was really cool.
Oh. And what were you thinking of when you did that?
Well, that's for the veterans that come back from the war and they don't get treated correctly.
Well, you see, I work with veterans. That's the thing I do. I work with veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder. So,
Kind of left out, forgotten.
oh yeah.
That's what he said.
But you know, they're already angry. So, if I show them something like that, that might reinforce the anger.
I thought a lot of veterans actually buy that.
A distorted image of the American dream, almost.
A distorted image of the American dream.
I like it though. It's one of my favorite that I've seen so far.
It's like an evil twin, and she didn't want another twin.
It's an evil twin?
And she didn't want no, she wanted to be the only one. She didn't want nobody, no other siblings. I don't want nobody. I just want to be the only child. Because I feel like if I have another sibling, they're gonna get all the attention, and I'm gonna be mad.
Ah, interesting.
An upside down sperm and a right side up sperm. I see them. One's happy, one's not so sure.
What is the blood for?
Well, it might not have been the right time of the month. I don't know.
You see it as a positive piece or a disturbing piece?
I see it as it makes sense piece. I see it as that's the way I've felt my whole life. It's being driven into you, and it just doesn't make any sense why you should be told what you can see, say, or hear. Especially when it comes to the aspect of religion, organized religion. It basically speaks for me. It speaks what I feel.
Well, I see somebody who maybe had a bad day and wanted to display their feelings in an artistic fashion. This is, oh my God, I've got to stay home with the kids today. Wife's day out.
I want to say Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, well, she's sitting on his shoulders, and she's holding him because she loves him, but she's so mad. She's so mad, like, I just want you to listen. But she's not fighting back, like, get off me, or I'm scared or anything. It's like, I'm holding you, but I'm upset with you, and I just want you to hear me, or see me, or think about what I'm saying.
I see a man in frustration because he is bound by his parental nature, and yet he is unable to release himself from that frustration. But at the same time, he must accept it because she is of her own free will. She will do as she pleases. And as a father, I know that.
I do. This character here is tied up, they're confined, and this little kid, I don't know if they're demon possessed or if they're enraged or what, and it's like they're ripping they're tearing the skin off of the individual's face. Like, I don't know if he's demasking him, like he has a mask on, or if it's his actual flesh that's being ripped off, but he has him tied up, he has him bounded. And you know,
do you feel sorry for this guy?
I almost don't, because the thing is, the kid is so small, so it's like David and Goliath, you know what I'm saying? And somehow he was able to conquer him, tie him up, and tear his face off. You know what I'm saying?
So what if I told you that is me and that is her?
No way.
It was inspired when my daughter and I had a little argument, and it's called Daddy's Girl.
Wow. It's
That's why I love surrealism, because everybody is like, they're impacted, and it's their own definition, it's their own you make it your own. It ain't a tree. When you paint a tree, everybody knows that's the tree.
Yeah.
But when you paint an idea and a feeling and emotion, it's up to that person's life experiences, and that comes forth. Your life experiences came forth because obviously you have some battle with trying to get up in the world and conquering stuff, because obviously you have been through a lot of obstacles because you got, and that came out because of how you saw that.
Yo, what you just said?
I caught the back end of it.
Yo.
I caught the
Are you like a fortune teller or something?
Yeah, dude, I meet a lot of people, man. That's how life works.
She's
how she was able to interpret that.
Yeah,
though,
she's
like,
an intuitive artist.
You're not. It's not far from the truth.
Where your paintings begin from? Like, is it emotion? Is it intellect? What is your inspiration originally?
It's totally pure emotion. That's the beauty of not erasing and not giving up on the piece that you're doing, is that even the frustration you have in that moment will translate to something, will connect, and that's what you want with people. You want to connect to people, because that doesn't happen often anymore. I love the subjectivity of surrealism, the people's own interpretations. I don't want to present something that is what it is.
Okay, how do you pick your subjects? Like, skull and crossbones practically, leaning on a cross, or over here, someone with their, looks like their heart ripped out. Where do these ideas come from?
So a lot of these come from moments of emotion that I had, or questions that I couldn't answer myself and that I struggled with. There's a moment of time in which I wondered if religion was either a benefit to people or something that was a crutch. And that piece is actually called Crutch. And another thing I do with bodies is that you'll see skin coming off, and to me, nakedness and skin coming off, or cuts and bruises, shows vulnerability. And I wanted to open people up.
Let's talk about my personal favorite, right behind the cameras here, the right hand. And what I, as an artist, love about it is I love the pen and ink drawings, the fine line, the contrast between black and white backgrounds. And I'm a big fan of surrealism, so I love the whole composite picture here. Tell me what was your inspiration for this particular piece of art?
It's actually something that my father raised me on, which was, you gotta have all your cards right. Make sure that everything you do your best, and that you can almost, everything you touch can almost turn to gold. Everything you touch is your best. And it was drawn at a time where I thought I had all my cards, so I thought I had everything together. I thought everything in my life was coming together. I was going to school, I had my job, I had money coming in, and all just stuff just kept happening, and obstacles just kept happening. It just kept feeling like I was being cut off from I was just reaching, and it was just right out of reach. And maybe I didn't have my cards right. Maybe I was just picking the wrong things, and I was like, maybe it's just fate, or maybe I'm just not doing the right thing. Maybe I need to reshuffle my priorities. And so I kind of wanted to do a play on that, which is, a magician who can make anything happen, but totally being stopped in his tracks.
What I like about the pieces is that it's from her. You can see that it's from her. You can see the love she puts into it. And for me, everything's a story. It's not just about this is some guy that's in the stocks. I see the story behind it. I see the despair. I think I like it because it's dark.
So how old were you when you started creating art?
My earliest pieces, actually this one was my first one when I was 15.
Okay. But this is all about life, because we're tied to our jobs, we're tied to religion, we're tied to all those superficial things that doesn't let people see inside, and we're trapped because we become afraid to be ourselves because of this. And that's what these two people are. They're trapped in this machine, in this thing about religion and science and economics. Look at this. That's great. That's great stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful. He's blind to these religions and enslaved by it, and he's in the muck and the mirror, and he's still not complete because he's not thinking freely. He's not dealing with his spiritual self. this is a really deep. This is Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and these, all three of them were born in blood. They were born in blood. Islam said you either come by Islam or die by the sword. Judaism was like, you know, we want this space, and you take it. In Christianity, all of the major wars together have not killed as many people as Christianity.
That's
and
right.
They're still hooked into here, and they're still blind and struggling. They need to let go and be themselves. That's what I see in this.
Have a particular piece here that offends you, I guess?
I love it. I love it. I love the one there that shows the skull coming out. That's
What does it mean to you when you see it?
a new beginning of birth.
A new beginning of birth. Okay. There you go. Okay.
I'd like to hear your interpretation of it since you made it.
It was actually 4 o'clock in the morning. I had the worst headache in the world and I could not sleep. And that is it.
So it's very simple.
Some of them are just very literal. Like I felt just like that. I felt just like that.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Like, and that's it. And people take it and they run off with it. Like, boy, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them, like some like Adam and Eve, that's got a lot of meaning behind it. Like there's a lot of thought, but some of these are just like pure emotion, just pure like. I have no idea how to put this into words, but if I was to put this in the most literal term possible, so someone can look at it and feel how I feel in this moment, how would I put that? Everything that I can't draw, I write a song about. Everything that I can't sing about, I draw.
So I wanted to ask you, because your art is very unique and some would call it morbid. Pictures like this, guts being ripped out, like, are you on drugs when you do that?
Not one. I can't do art when I'm on drugs or any sort of substance. In fact, when I am on substances, I kind of just draw trees and like realistic images, and I can't really put a lot of content into my art. So in order to have that passion and that feeling, I have to be completely sober. I have to sit with myself, and I can't use any sort of substance or mechanism to escape from it and kind of leave it. I have to kind of actually intensify it and just kind of rot with emotion.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that.
Did you have a disturbed childhood? Were you abused, neglected, whatever?
I had actually really privileged childhood, and I think a lot of it is because that when I was a kid, my parents took me out of the country at least 12 times before I turned 16. Like I've been to China. I went everywhere. I've seen like just third world parts of places at such a young age that when you come back to a place like America, you just see things in a different light, and you have all these different questions of why and how. I've had a couple abusive relationships outside of my childhood, like when I grew and kind of left my house, and those have also made their way into a couple of these pieces. But the morbidity comes from just putting things in a literal term as opposed to I don't know, saying it as if I feel so intense that I want to strike somebody, and I want them to feel what I felt and that question what I questioned. So something as stark as black and white with a splash of something morbid kind of, it says a million things to someone.
I am a connoisseur of arts, and I am an artist myself, and seeing these wonderful illustrations have made me inspired to pick up my pen and re-pursue my dreams.
So you were inspired earlier today? You just started working on one?
That's the inspiration for this piece.
And he said, I heard three things. I suffered from massive brain injury. I don't live in I don't have 2 pennies to rub. And I'm on every single medication that you could ever think of. Well, my whole generation is almost on every single medication. So I related immediately, because when ADHD came out, when that just decided to be a thing, all my friends decided to be zombies because they got put on a lot of medication. A lot of my creative friends. So I related to being just zombied out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he has 2 pennies in his hand.
and he's, you know, torn up, sitting on a couch, just chock full of pills. Screws in his head, because he literally does have screws in his head, actually. Which feel all screwed up.
Wow.
Like in her song,
That is
he's like
super.
her best friend.
It's a fresh piece. You're witnessing it as it's being done.
I mean, that's super
Yeah, we're gonna write that down before I forget.
How do you see it? The way she saw you?
She saw it perfect, man. She did it perfect. I talk a lot. I got my glasses. I got screws in my head. Got a tattoo. Got a ring on my finger. I like to chill a lot on the couch. And I don't have central heating and air, so that could be a heater or a fan.
It is a fan. He does not have central heating in air. And your mouth is full of pills.
So that's definitely chill.
Also, you have 2 pennies. You have 1 penny in one hand. So now you just have 2 pennies to rub.
I see.
Yeah. See, now I got 2 pennies to rub together. Yeah, that's about dead on right there. Good job, thank you.
What is her name?
Haseena.
Haseena?
Yes.
What inspired you to come up with this rendition here?
So it's basically a moment of time in my life where I felt like everybody wanted something from me. Everybody in the world was trying to get something from me, and I had no time for me. And I felt like I was just stuck because I had so much responsibility, and I was just getting torn at. And it's called torn. I feel like everybody around me needs something from me. They need something from me, and I'm responsible for it all, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck, and I'm being torn at the same time. Held there, and you feel guilty. Like you have to do what you have to do, and it's so overwhelming. Like, and it was that moment. It was that moment that I was feeling it, and I didn't. You can't. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know how to explain it, so I drew it. Right? So that's what it feels like. That's what. Oh, the thing that I've been telling people is that I have an overflow of emotion towards something. I hear someone talking, something happens in my life, my friend goes through something, and I feel, and it's this. These are all moments of emotion. And I feel it, and I don't know how to talk about it. And the only thing that's going through my mind is how can I draw this in the most literal term, so when someone sees this, they feel what I feel.
I was just moved by this piece of work here, and just off initial reaction to it, you know, it kind of stood out to me. You know, you got the vortex in the mind, but there's a stillness, you know, within the mind. But then, you know, you take me down to there's a barcode. So that means that we're just a product, or we're just a conditioning of somebody else's vision in life. But then I recognize that this is an infant. And then even more so, I recognize that this is an infant in the womb. Therefore, we're predetermined to be conditioned as we are before we even have the chance to actually get out. So
that's fantastic, what you just said.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is beautiful art. This is beautiful art, and I definitely appreciate it. This is wonderful.
So this is the stigma that women have to, that I feel like a lot of women carry around, and I struggled with it when I hit puberty, because I had to choose, all right, so what do I want the boys to be? You know, do I want to be like that shy, delicate, sensual, you know, little girl, or do I want to be like, you know, you need to know that I am individual. You don't need to be like attacking me. You know, I can defend my own. And men know that we have to struggle with that too. So then they're walking on eggshells and everything, you know, meet us. And it's like, it's this moment of tension, like you got to decide and they got to decide, how do I handle this woman? And you got to be like, how do I handle myself? You know, what do I got to be? And so I made, if you look at the piece from the collarbone up, you wouldn't know if it was masculine or feminine. I love making things genderless. And then I took away the biology, which is basically the only thing that defines a gender, which is I disagree with. I think it's all in the mind. So I made her, you know, her private a delicate flower, but I also sewed it up as if it was man-made. Right. I like the man-made, like, because she made it that way, delicate. And then when you first look at it, she looks like she's being very submissive, like she's opening up, she's being vulnerable. But then when you look at it again, it looks like she's being attacked. And her hands are reaching through where her breasts would be.
And that was the conflict that I still face a lot of the time. You know, when people approach me and I'm like, I want to be respected, but I'm a lady, you know. Don't chest bump me, right? What up? What's up? I'm like, well, I got some things over here that'll get bruised.
That is awesome.
I mean, it's like abstract art at its finest. It is. It's like I didn't get like the whole person leaning back and these arms are actually opposite way hands in the rose, the heart. This is amazing. Like you can even see the detail in the nose.
Yeah.
Oh,
she is amazing.
Every woman, you don't know this.
It's a secret.
But every woman has a moment, okay? It happens maybe twice, once a year, it's maybe more if you're responsible. When they get out the shower and they're like, you know, what is, just because we got it, don't mean we know what's going on. You know, you gotta check up. It's really hard. Anyway, so I was thinking.
I just wanted to hear it come out your mouth already.
Yes, I was thinking. I was like, what would it look like if somebody walked in right now? Do you ever think that? Like, if you're in your room just doing, you know, maintenance, and you're like, if somebody walked in right now, and I have a girlfriend, and I walked in, and I saw this one day, and she was so embarrassed. I walked in and I saw this, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, we're not like this. This is not how we are. This is not our relationship. Close the door. And get out. Yeah. Get out. Yeah. But I was like, I connected with her because it was like, every girl has that, and I'm so sorry, but like, just, it's called curious.
These are disturbing in that there's a pinup girl shown bleeding and dripping and obviously not much of a pinup girl. It's a little disturbing for me as thinking that this is somebody's emotions, how they would perceive a quote unquote, it's just totally different. Not my way of visualizing and a little bit violent.
So unique. So I love this piece here because to add insult to injury, there's an actual nail.
Yes.
That's in there. So they're hanging from their flesh off of a nail. But when I say morbid, I mean morbid. It wouldn't make sense if I say in a good way, but it's in an artistic way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I did a play on, first of all, the literal term of pinup girl. I never really understood that. So I pinned a girl up, and I took the opposite approach.
It's almost like you stripped her down.
In her beauty.
Yeah.
But we're all pretty freaking ugly on the inside. And the concept of inner beauty and the concept about her beauty is all based on symmetry. It's a bunch of thoughts that I had in mind, and I just wanted to open someone up. And see, is that beautiful?
That is nice.
Haseena, what is it called?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. And what is it actually about?
It's about the moment when you are forgiven by somebody. And I wanted to embody that moment. So you have a person that's just covered in this shame for themselves, looking down, just rooted and dug into the guilt that they have for something, and then this ethereal almost feeling of having it lifted off of you. And forgiveness is a natural occurrence. It's not like something you could say, I forgive you, and you do. It's something that I don't even know what it is, honestly. I just know that what it feels like is something spontaneous, and it just is lifted. You know what I mean? And it's everything that you've carried and you let build on you. The nastiness, the dirt, the grime, that you've let just impact your life, just lifting up. When someone sees this, they feel what I feel. They may not have the same reasoning, but they connect. All of these are just moments that I was stuck in. I have no idea how to explain it, so I had to. It's just raw emotion.
What is this called again?
Naive.
Naive.
And you, I mean, you can be 40 and feel like you're 12 because you feel like you're not doing the right thing with yourself. You want to get it? Okay.
I'm sorry. There's something about that.
Jacob, come.
She's definitely talented.
Some problems, that's alright. I feel I was born to solve them.
Best way I would describe this art is beyond its time of this generation or on this plane of this physical earth, because it speaks on a level beyond this fifth dimension of this reality that we perceive in. All this art that is here today, that is present, is truly beyond my words. I lack the intellectual ability to properly describe all what I see.
This is a very intelligent artist. As a father, I'm truly grateful for her creator to bring this child into my life. And now she's here for a certain divine purpose. I remember a time when her art teacher gave her a D because she drew something the teacher just did not understand as being physically possible. This was the beginning of a surrealism style. And I think this was the moment I knew that Haseena was something special.
Pardon me, ma'am, I'm sorry I'm giving you all and don't stop, you know my weakness.
You did this, all of this.
I feel like I just been losing it. When I see this, I just feel like I just been losing it. And my wife, my family. This is deep. This is art. This is definitely art.
Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Well, it's been dry, waiting to be salted or sanitized, and you keep soaking under my skin, and I am unsure if I am slowly becoming infected, or if I'm rejecting you. Oh, you came with. Pardon me, ma'am, I'm sorry It seems my heart's gone missing. All I can. It seems my heart's gone missing, but in this time you'll have the least tool I've been left. She let me down, she left me outside. Nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. And if I stay, I know I sit in my own shame. Well, not 3 steps past, and here you are.